Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I was gonna do a video and I thought it would be cool, but decided to do this instead. So basically, we're gonna do a herbivore vs carnivore video. Oh yeah, we're only using only the original pack, since I only have the original pack, first time playing and stuff. Okay, then the Amargasaurus goes with that. And we're not doing any swimming dinosaurs because that makes the fight only. Since there's no herbivore swimming dinosaurs. Wait, I can't fight it. I don't think there's any herbivore dinosaurs that are flying that can fight either.
Hey, I've heard a lot about you, so here's a little about me. I'm Isaac Clement, but just call me Isaac, no need for formalities.
Wait, no.
Besides, in the park, we've got to watch
No,
each
no,
other's
what
backs. Now, people think we're in the dinosaur game, but the truth is, we're entertainers. And our headliners traveled 65 million years to make the show. So let's make it a good one.
Yeah, so if he kills one, and
This
like say,
bipedal predator is called
if
the
he fights back,
Acrocanthosaurus, and it is a dinosaur
both
that
of them fight
has
back.
what
Like if
I
he
like to
kills one
refer
and they
to
fight back, that's
as
basically
presence.
it.
When it's around, you know it. This animal should make for a killer exhibit. I mean, it being a killer and all.
Well, what have we here? It's an Amargasaurus, according to the paperwork I have in front of me. Another interesting factoid. Its long neck meant it probably liked to feed on the taller branches of trees and such. At least that's what it says. Guess we'll find out, huh?
I think he's fine with the doesn't hate it, get destroyed. It's just more like basic food. You looking for food? Oh, what's in front of you, huh? I'll just do a bunch more stuff. So we could have more fights. Just checking in with the sandbox settings to just make sure that it's working. I'm back for a quick signal. Herbivore was able to initiate fights? Yep. I will change it.
Hi, I'm Claire Deering. I know it must be overwhelming to meet all these new people, but you're about to embark on a life-changing adventure. Certainly was for me. Trust me,
Oh, well, you
you'll
know, it changed your
understand.
life because you almost died.
This is the Albertosaurus, so named because it was first discovered in the Canadian province of Alberta. This animal is a smart predator that relies on its rows of sharp teeth. They exhibit pack behavior, which is very exciting to witness, as long as you're doing so from a safe distance.
They call this the Ankylosaurus. I call it an armored ball of walking, breathing trouble. Still, some might call it charming, amusing, delightful. Each to their own.
The Allosaurus and the Apatosaurus.
This is Dr. Kajal Dua. She's all about the science of paleocuration. When she talks, I'd suggest you listen.
Every dinosaur that's recreated is important, but some also capture our imaginations. The Allosaurus is one such animal. It is believed that in its original environment, it was squarely at the top of the food chain. I'm interested to discover if that's true, given the opportunity.
Without Dr. Henry Wu, none of this would exist. He has that drive and intensity that few people possess. My advice? Don't get on his bad side.
This massive specimen is called the Apatosaurus. An impressive animal that can intimidate even the most determined of predators. The Apatosaurus's evolutionary advantages are its size and its demeanor.
Asset transportation underway.
Our goal at the park is to keep guest count to the maximum, and the body count to a minimum. George Lambert is the man tasked with that, task. Mr. Lambert?
There was a lot of controversy about dinosaurs being the ancestors of modern-day birds before this one was introduced into the park. It's an Archaeornithomimus. I think it puts some of those arguments to rest.
Okay, this is amazing. A baryonyx. These animals have very large claws on their first digit. This dinosaur also likes water, so take a moment to consider its needs when planning out a suitable habitat for it. The baryonyx was originally thought to be a scavenger, but now, with live animals to study, we can find out for sure.
Okay, who died?
Asset collection request received. Commencing asset transit. Acknowledging asset collection request. Asset transportation in progress. Collecting asset.
Okay. Okay, what we have here is a Brachiosaurus. It has long limbs relative to the rest of its body. And what makes... it really unique is that it's a warm-blooded dinosaur. I mean, how amazing. Amazing is it that in bringing these dinosaurs back, we're also learning so much about them.
Now, stay with me. This dinosaur is called a Carcharodontosaurus. Talk about a mouthful, right? And seeing that this animal is an alpha predator, its mouth is usually full of the slow, the weak, and the inattentive. Hence the reason I'm not getting near it. You, on the other hand,
First discovered in China, the Chungkingosaurus has distinctive twin plates that run along its back. And it can swing its spiked tail, called a thagomizer, like a massive medieval... Base. This is a dinosaur best observed at a distance.
Talk about the opposite of subtle. And I don't mean Owen. No, this is the Chasmosaurus. It has dynamic coloring and these large openings, called fenestrae, in a frill that rises above its head. This is a dinosaur that says, "Look at me." So, maybe a little like Owen.
Known as the chambered lizard, the Camarasaurus impresses with both its size and its blunt snout. It prefers to live in groups, a challenge, but one I'm confident you can handle.
Owen Grady, animal behaviorist and our resident velociraptor trainer. He believes in hands-on work with these animals, so if you need anything from him, I suggest you get it now, while he's still alive.
This dinosaur, the Corythosaurus, is a duck-billed animal that looks like it's wearing a helmet. I mean, check that thing out. wouldn't want to butt heads with it.
Whenever a dinosaur dies, I feel like I've lost one of my own.
Assets in the air.
Now this dinosaur, the Dracorex, is something strange. Its name means the Dragon King of a fictional school for wizards. I think I could have come up with that myself. The name, not the dinosaur. For that, we need the scientists.
Nice, a Carnotaurus. You can recognize this predator immediately by the horns on its head, which give it a real rock and roll appearance. Those powerful legs can get this dinosaur moving as well, so probably best to stay out of its way. This dinosaur is so metal. This animal, though an herbivore, can intimidate most predators with its size. It's a biggie named Dreadnoughtus. I'd give this dinosaur a wide berth.
Now this dinosaur is something special. Well, they're all something special, but this one stands out because of the horns on top of its head. It's called Ceratosaurus. It kind of looks like a slightly smaller T-Rex, but its bite is probably about the same.
Ah, the Crichtonsaurus. Named after the... Author Michael Crichton, famous for his stories about infectious viruses, sentient nanobots, and also a novel on ancient animals, which I quite enjoyed. This is a social dinosaur that does well in groups.
Another massive animal. The Diplodocus was once considered the longest animal that ever lived. And now, thanks to our extensive research, it's back. My task is to make sure we learn everything we can about the...
Did you just say about me?
dinosaur. Your task is making sure these magnificent creatures can survive in the modern world.
You know, this animal's primary habitat was the ancient... primordial forest that once covered this planet. It's called Dryosaurus. Before our research, there was no information on adult specimens of this dinosaur. We only had the fossilized record of juveniles. But now, that's all changed.
Interesting. An Edmontosaurus. This is an herbivore that can move on all 4 feet or go upright and walk on its hindquarters. We should be able to control and monitor this species more easily than some of the others. Use that to your advantage as you plan out the park.
Ah, this is a Euoplocephalus, an herbivore and relatively harmless dinosaur, as long as you stay out of the way of the heavy club on its... tail. If it swings that your way, you could be relatively finished.
Some of these animals present a real test of our abilities. Take, for instance, this latest dinosaur, the Gallimimus. It's an opportunistic omnivore that does best in groups. That alone isn't the problem, but the speed. Gallimimus is incredibly fast, which presents special challenges for the ranger teams tasked with monitoring them.
This is a Cryolophosaurus, one of the more colorful members of the collection. It's a carnivore, so take the necessary precautions and don't let its looks deceive you.
Asset has been collected.
This dinosaur is important for a number of reasons. I mean, they're all important, but this one, the Deinonychus, was the center of debate among paleontologists for many years. Specifically, were the dinosaurs cold-blooded or warm-blooded animals? With them alive and in the park, we have our answer.
This flat-headed dinosaur, the Homalocephali, can appear unassuming, and perhaps even cute to some. But let's also stay on top of the science. We can learn a lot. From a little.
Asset being transported.
The gigant Spinosaurus you have here doesn't quite live up to its name. Don't get me wrong, it's big, but manageable. Just watch out. For those shoulder blades. They'd ruin anyone's day.
Do I want the dinosaurs to fight? No. But do they want to fight? For some, it is what they were born for, what they live for, and what they're willing to die for. That is a purity that few humans have.
This dinosaur is large, bulky, and has a stubborn disposition. It's called the iguanodon. It's an herbivore with attitude. I'd suggest giving it a wide berth.
The Kentrosaurus is another of those spiky-backed dinosaurs. A dinosaur that relied on it. Intimidation to keep the predators at bay, and failing that, a difficult meal. To catch and chew. Think of it as a prehistoric porcupine.
This animal, the Maiasaura, is known as the Good Mother reptile because its fossils were first discovered in a nesting colony. And really, who doesn't love a good mother?
Do you see any resemblance between the Nasutoceratops and modern-day cattle? Look closely at the horns and their relation to the eyes. It's clear to me that as we bring these animals back to life, the connections between the past and the present sharpen, and along with it, our understanding. This is what my science is all about.
Okay, this dinosaur is something special. Seriously, look at the size of this thing. It's called the Mamenchisaurus. This thing is one of the largest animals to ever walk the earth. And now, thanks to the wonders of genetic engineering, it's doing just that again.
If it is possible for a dinosaur to be both elegant and awkward at the same time, then the Muttaburrasaurus takes the prize. This is a large herbivore that should make for an excellent addition to our collection. This sauropod, the Nigersaurus, was originally discovered in fossilized form in the Republic of Niger, hence the name. Now, it lives thanks to our efforts and our science. Notice the long tail, the flat skull. However, this dinosaur is smaller than some of its cousins. Now that we have them to study, perhaps we can learn why.
Okay, What we have here is a Notosaurus. This dinosaur tends to be shy and likes to keep to itself. And it has a thick skin. Sort of the opposite of Owen.
Yeah. Go boyfriend like that.
This dinosaur, the Dilophosaurus, has a distinctive
This dinosaur might.
neck frill it can expand when it senses danger. It's also been known to spit into the eyes of its prey, blinding it before it goes in for the kill.
Transporting asset.
This one's more my speed.
Right, I didn't even get to watch the fire actually happen.
The Tyrannosaurus is named after the... Arabic word for courage, which is kinda my thing. This dinosaur is easy to care for and really only wants a comfortable place to eat. And rest, and to be left alone. Sound like anyone you know?
This duck-billed dinosaur is an Eloratitan. It was one of the last non-avian dinosaurs to go extinct, until we...
No one's dead.
resurrected it, that is. Now it lives to be studied and put on display. The Eloratitan is a herbivore. As it grinds away its teeth while eating, it has hundreds more that continually take their place. There's a lesson in there.
The fire was right next to me. I didn't even see it happen. I mean, give that random piece.
Somewhere.
This is the Pachycephalosaurus, or thick-headed lizard in Greek.
Bye-bye, loser.
Is where it gets its name. Claire has accused me of being... this dinosaur more than a few times. It's also an herbivore, so obviously she couldn't be more wrong. About me, I mean.
Mission underway.
Hey, I've gone like hours without a snack, and I know how that makes me feel. So imagine how a dinosaur feels when it's hungry.
Okay, so this next dinosaur, the Parasaurolophus, has a flair for the dramatic, especially where its head is concerned. It has a distinctive cranial crest, which is used for added resonance in its vocalizations and to regulate its body temperature.
So the Pandas...
The dinosaur is clearly very dead. Polar panthers.
Ceratops here. It has 5 horns. 1 on the nose, 2 on the brows, and 2 extending out from its jugular bones. Seems...
The Negasaurus.
excessive. But maybe it's necessary.
Asset in transit.
This is the Polacanthus, and it's covered in armor plates and... spikes. Mess with this animal at your own risk.
Transit has commenced.
Interested in a dinosaur with an extremely long tail? Then this dinosaur is for you. It's called the Sauropelta. Covered in bony armor, it has long spines projecting from its neck. All that being said, it is a relatively calm animal when placed in the right environment.
Transporting asset.
Okay, I need your complete focus. What we have here is one of the worst situations we can...
The focus is wrong.
come across. This animal has internal bleeding. Without immediate attention, it may not last long.
Oh, yes.
Heading to collect the asset.
Right, the Sinoceratops, an herbivore that shares many traits with its more famous cousin, the Triceratops. This is a docile animal that you could make into a solid favorite with a little effort. Of course, we're all expecting more than a little effort, but I'm sure you get what I mean.
What an interesting thought.
Asset being transported.
People often confuse this animal, the Giganotosaurus, with the T-Rex. They look similar, act similar, and both have that eat everything within their field of vision thing working for them. This dinosaur is also fast. Bottom line, if you find yourself running from this biggie, you've already made a mistake.
Look at an ostrich or emu, then look at this latest dinosaur, the Struthiomimus, and tell me you don't see a connection. This is one of the more bird-like dinosaurs that we've brought back from extinction. It literally has a beak instead of teeth. It's an herbivore that prefers to move in herds. Overall, a fantastic addition to the park.
Before I got into the paleo-curation game, even I knew of the Stegosaurus. Those plates running along its length from head to tail make it one of the most iconic dinosaurs. Our guests are gonna want to see it, so make sure you do right by this animal.
Wait, I forgot to add something to this. I always like to make it so realistic, like 24 hours a day. It's like real time. I'm probably gonna be in a different country though.
This is the Stygimoloch, and it is one hard-headed dinosaur. It has an armored dome crowned by horns. Despite this, it's a social and relatively docile animal, unless threatened. Then steer well clear of it. This dinosaur can do a number on its enclosures and bash its way through any number of obstacles. Take that into consideration when you're planning its...
Instead of it. Hang on.
environment.
Asset transportation underway. Picking up asset.
This dinosaur, the Styracosaurus, has huge horns and a large spike similar to a rhinoceros. It also has the personality
Okay guys,
to
that's the end of
match.
the video,
It's
so
an
the video is
herbivore.
gonna end
Uses those
in a
horns
couple
and
seconds.
a beak to
Bye.
break into even the toughest of plants.